All right. So, as you were cartooning this, did you start to think about some of the tools that you would use?
A card.
A card. Yep, that's a tool. Anybody else? Maybe. Yeah. Yeah. What other tools?
I feel like you could do some sponging for the rocks.
Absolutely. What else could you use? She said while holding it in her hand.
Roller.
Okay, so what you're trying to do now is you're trying to match your values, right? You know, you're going to start with your darkest values first and then work your way up, okay? The black is basically there in case you make a boo-boo. To base it, you can just take black out of our stock buckets, okay? So Sophie doesn't have to keep refilling the black bucket over and over again. All of these paints, in this case, are simply made with black and white. So if Sophie if Sophie and I have missed, like getting more mixed, you can simply go and match the value, black and white. Remember, viscosity is everything. The paints in these mother buckets, we call them mother buckets when it's the original bucket, are really, really thick. So you're going to thin it out, okay? See how nice this is, though, for creating lines that look sort of rocky? Kind of get craggy and everything. So Sophie has pulled out some other examples of black and white projects that we've done from days past. And we'll hang those up there. Sophie, you can go ahead. You can show them to them. They're fun. So we do a different one every year. Sophie got to pick this one out this year, so if you don't like... Yeah. The brain tree. The brain tree was fun. I liked the brain tree. Yeah, we did a waterfall one year. Yeah, we used to do it on a piece of tar paper, and we had to do this whole, we would do the black and white project on this whole flat, But unfortunately, since they've changed the schedule, shortened the length of the class, we've had to figure out ways to try to give you similar content, but in a little bit like less time. So now we do it so that you just do it on the side of this flat. All right, so that tool was fun. Let's use a different tool now. God, this sponge has like a hard center. That's like is just like the little sea creatures were especially, but I love the shape of this sponge. So remember picking a sponge that like kind of will do like a job for you. So it's like, I'm like, I need a sponge that sort of has square corners on it. Huh? There are boo-boos and then there are happy accidents, y'all. What else do we have here? He's fun. I took the poop off, sorry. He fell off. The poop actually fell off kind of as I was picking it up. So I'm just going to go ahead and do a little bit of breakup up here. Oh, that's nice. Definitely needs some of that action down here. Bless you. So I got these. These are for 3-year-olds. They're just stupid little texture tools. I was like, yeah, man, these things will be awesome for this class. So, huh? I'm still doing a little bit of breakup up here. But like by using, so here's the thing about texture, by using different tools instead of just the same damn tool over and over again, like it adds like dimension and kind of almost a sense of verisimilitude to what you're doing. So it's like, yes, could you do this whole thing with a sea sponge? Of course you can, but it's not going to be as interesting. So like kind of screwing around with the tools that I'm using so that there's like a little bit more interest to it, and also because like it pleases me. Too dark or too light. I see that I missed a line. Oh, okay, so this is a picked roller. Takes a long time to make a good picked roller. Normally you would actually have it on a roller frame, but I don't seem to have a roller frame right now. But these picked rollers make really nice texture. So I'm being the roller frame right now. And then just a little bit of breakup. I don't like that for breakup. We'll use him. Okay, so it looks like my background is essentially getting pretty close to being done. And mostly I'm just screwing around going, what other tool can I use? Well, and just like, well, and so are you sensing a pattern here? Like, there sort of are no, like, as long as you know how to use it, there are no wrong tool choices, right? And then it's like every tool is going to give you like a little something different. But like if I had just done this with the sea sponge, it wouldn't have been nearly as interesting, right? So, hence, screwing around and like creating a little bit of a sense of different texture. Okay, so I've got some lighter value over here. I'm going to get some of that lighter value in. And then we will move on to graph. All right. So what are we going to use for graph, right? What are some of our choices? Feathers, bite me. Okay. We are going to use feather dusters. So here's how Susan feels about feathers, okay? I told you about Rachel's bugaboos. I have a bugaboo. When someone walks out onto a 30-foot by 60-foot drop and goes, I'm going to do marble with feathers, I'm like, the hell you are. Because how much paint does a feather hold?
Oh, a lot. I had to like...
Yeah, well, almost none. Like you can get like an 18-inch line out of a feather, right? And then you're like, I have to dip the feather again because the feather... They're fun for faux treatments. We do screw around with feathers and veining and faux treatments. But we do just, when you are working on a theatrical drop, also think of scale. I knew a guy once that did an entire marble technique with freaking Q-tips on a deck. I kid you not. Okay? He was like on that floor for like a month. And it was like, oh my God, stop, please stop. Right? Like a life is too short, right? We need to be valuable. You know, we need to be, as a skilled artisan and artist, a valuable commodity, right? So taking a month to do a malachite marble deck is not necessarily useful. So, feathers, yes, you've got the right idea. But a feather duster, because like these lines are just like going, right, anyway. So we can do with several lines at a time instead of like one line at a time. Same with the card. The card is a fun tool, no doubt, right? Like if you've got like we could come back and we'll do maybe some like just accent pieces of grass maybe with the card, but we're just not going to attack the whole thing with the card, right? Because we're like, got, you know, like, you know, we got to get out of here in our lifetime, right? So, I don't know. I doubt this guy's going to work very well, but let's see how he does. Kind of doing, like, it's kind of a good, he's kind of a good tool for sort of like, we need like kind of background noise, right? Like sort of background texture in this grass. And he's actually kind of not bad for that. So using some of our darker values, we'll just do kind of a little bit of and sort of set up our pattern nice and fast, okay? I'm like, okay, all right, you were fun. Goodbye. So we actually have grass here, right? And it's like, who would have thunk? Grass to do grass? The problem with this grass, like, is it's fun. But it also does not, like, there's no porousness to this stuff. It actually does not hold a lot of paint. Shocking, I know. Like, you're like, come on, go. Do a thing. So it's got its uses. It definitely has its uses, but yes, that would be an awesome use for this. That would be an absolutely awesome use for this. Or depending on the treatment, if you needed a certain kind of grain in a glaze treatment, this could be a good tool to like put the glaze on and then flog over it. I just got paint in my eye. So, so it has its uses, which is why it remains in the shop. And it's not just like relegated to Christmas decorations or something. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead now and face the inevitable, right? And like get the feather duster out. I'm going to move up in value a little bit. Notice I still have not used my lightest value yet on this, okay? Because the lightest value is not back here, so I'm not pushing it. All right? So now I'm going to go ahead with this, and it's like, oh, thank you. That's like actually does sort of look like grass. Thank you very much. All right. So now we have some specific, like, little sprigs of grass in here. And this is where your feather or carding can be useful. Yep, because that's what I'm seeing. And kind of have to be careful with the feather and just make sure that you're just touching the tip. The card, this is really straight grass, and it's hard to get the feather to stay straight, right? Like it kind of wants to wobble a little bit, which is why for faux treatment, it's good. Sorry about my phone. It's good to use for marble, maybe not so good to use for straight grass. And that's enough of that. Thank you very much, Beethoven. So you can use the card a couple of different ways. I'm mostly using it on edge. You can also, if you have a different kind of texture, you can use the card to draw texture out that way, okay?
So, like, for the top part that we're not using, like, what you did up there, is that okay for, like, this, cactus a little bit?
Absolutely. Okay. A little bit of white. Ah! All right, so the last thing that I need to do is I need to feather out some of these little guys here. Kind of wish we had a toothbrush. Yeah, a toothbrush might actually be nice for these little suckers. Yeah, this is too fat and hunky.
I grabbed from one thing. Can I put it here? Oh, this little guy. I thought could be fun.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Yeah.
Let's see how he does. Yeah. We do some of the most stupid stuff in scenic artistry. It's awesome. You know, like maybe that's how we should like try to recruit the program. Do you want a career doing like really stupid stuff? Come join us and get paid for it. Huh? Right? You do not have to use the same tools that I have been using. Absolutely do not have to. Like you can experiment and screw around and see what works. Just like kind of go to town and enjoy yourself a little bit here and like experiment. Once again, like I added this project a few years ago and it seemed to be a good sort of low risk way for people to like get into using these tools, right? Without like feeling like, you know, I mean, everybody was just like working on no brush projects and like as if they were like doing reproductions of Rembrandt or something. And I just wanted people to have like a little bit more of a kind of nice, low stakes environment to be able to, you know, figure out how stuff worked. All right, any tools you think I forgot, Sophie, that would be really good to show people? Yeah, we call this the toy box for this project. So, you know, it's like literally like you are just figuring out and playing and figuring out what works. Okay, we have a very short time now to go pick out, you can push stop.